Baruch here with genConnect.com, and I'm joined today by Hal Harvey, the CEO of Energy Innovation. How are you, Hal?
Just great. Nice to be here.
Thanks for being here. So what really are the biggest challenges that this planet is facing in terms of energy?
The biggest one by far is that we have far more carbon available in fossil fuels than the atmosphere can handle, by a factor of 10 at least. So if we continue to extract, we can continue in effect to poison the earth. And we reach tipping points wherein entire ecosystems get wiped out. It's projected already that a third of agriculture in Africa will disappear by 2050, simply from temperature change.
Wow.
So this affects human settlements, it affects natural systems, and it's not reversible.
How worried are you about future generations?
Extremely worried. We've now reached a level of CO2 in the atmosphere that hasn't existed while humans have been on the planet. In fact, hasn't existed for 3 million years. And we're nowhere near to peaking right now. So if we don't bend the curves on CO2 emissions, we really will render much of this planet uninhabitable. We're talking hundreds of millions of lives.
What can this generation be doing right now? Small steps that make real impact to help future generations.
Well, there are two things this generation can do. And one of the things I love, I give talks at colleges and so forth, is that the younger folks completely understand this and they're ready for action. They don't want to bicker over established science, they want to do things. So the two categories of things are how you spend your life and how you influence others. How you spend your life is straightforward stuff like insulating your house or changing the lights or thinking about getting a bicycle instead of hopping in the car all the time. You'll be healthier, you'll be happier, and the planet will be too. And this adds up. When you have tens and hundreds of millions of people changing it, you can cut your carbon emissions in half without much trouble. I've done it myself by about 80%.
And so those small steps don't just make us feel better about what we're doing, but they really can make an impact.
They add up, especially if they spread. But they also imbue your own ethic, and that's very important. That's the other half of what you can do. Every single one of us has a network of friends, of companies we work for, of media relationships, political leaders. If you begin to speak up and say, you know what, this is a moral issue, this is the defining issue of our generation, this determines in no small measure whether the billion people that live on the world's coasts have a decent life 80 years from now, start giving that message to people you know. Those networks spread in nonlinear ways. That's the beauty of today's media and our connected society. And so you have to enable that. You have to take advantage of that.
It's so depressing to think about the threat that we're talking about, to think that, that a third of agriculture in Africa can be wiped out. Is there any hope?
There's definitely hope. So there's a whole set of worries about what can happen to the ecology. But there's, at the same time, borning an incredible new generation of energy technologies. And they're getting cheap. So solar energy, for example, has dropped 80% in price in the last 5 years. Wind has dropped by a third, and both of them are still going down. In 2011, for the first time in history, we invested more in renewable energy than we did in fossil energy. So this momentum is terrific. We're now getting about 20% of the world's energy from renewable sources. We could double that in the next 20 years, and then we can finish the job in the 20 after that. By 2050, we can kick the fossil fuel habit, but only if we really push hard now.
Hal Harvey, thank you so much.
Delighted. Thank you.
And to learn more about Hal Harvey and his incredible work with energy innovation, be sure to check out genConnect.com.